What's up guys, and welcome back. So as I said at the start of the year, I'll be developing a video game for charity, and I said along the way I will give you as many updates as physically possible. So progress is a bit slow at the moment. I've been working say 40 to 50 hours a week at work, and the guy that's been doing some of the 3D modelling stuff for me, like the car development and the artist sort of stuff, there hasn't, as far as I know, been any progress made there yet. Hoping that there will be some progress made shortly though. But on my side of the whole thing, I've been playing around with different editors, different ways to do it. So I wanted this game to be made in the Unity game engine, so I set out starting that, and I already knew from using it in the past that Terrain Editor is absolutely shocking, but I thought I'd try it anyway, see if I could get around it, see if there's been any new updates that's made it better. It's still crap. It is still absolutely horrible to use. So I've been trying to figure out different ways around it. Do I do something in like 3ds Max and just import the level in that way? Do I try and do it some other way? And actually I found a few different concepts. So the first thing that I tried was doing it in 3ds Max, use the Terrain Editor and then build a track in 3ds Max to do it that way. But as I did that, because with the polygons and all that, the way that they're set up, the track was just too jerky. It was like and the cars weren't smoothly going up any ramps or anything like that. So it didn't quite work out that way. So I figured you're better off doing it just in the Unity Terrain Editor. So I went back to the Terrain Editor, tried to do an almost flat track, but then add bumps and cambers and all that sort of stuff in, and it was okay, but it didn't feel natural. It didn't quite feel right. So I then went to, as an idea, a brainwave that I had. I then went to UDK. The reason why I went to UDK is I love UDK for developing games. The development side of it is absolutely fantastic. There's no games quite like it. And I used their Terrain Editor and then tried to import it into Unity. Now the problem is, if you export a terrain and re-import it into another program, there's so many polygons in it that it just didn't like the mesh collider just didn't like it, and the car was falling straight through it, or it wasn't connecting, and it was bouncing, it was flipping. And the Terrain Editor, because it exports it as a 3D model, it just wasn't working, and it would have made it so high powered to do it that it just wasn't worth it. So I ended up building a small little test track, just using like boxes and like cutting things out of it, adding stuff to it and all that, and it actually worked. It actually worked pretty well, and I'll show you that in a bit. On kind of what it was, just a basic. It was just a plane with a like a tunnel thing in it, just so I could test that it worked and it'd play fine in Unity. But now I know that that does work, I can do more stuff like that in it in the future. But then I think I'm going to have a combination of that for the more complex tracks, where it's going to have like ramps and jumps and stuff like that. Do that for the more complex tracks, but then also use 3ds Max for stuff that's going to be squarer and more built like. So for instance, I've made a maze track, which I will show you now. I've made a maze, So the point of the maze would be it'll be a new different game mode where you get from one side of the maze to the other as fast as physically possible, and then from there you'd have to set it at different time trials, beat your time, beat other people's time. If I can get an online mode, it'll be whoever can set the fastest time. So yeah, it'd be really interesting game mode to do. I haven't got any of the game mechanics in it just yet, so I need to work on that. There's also no textures, anything like that. I'm still using the basic prefab car that came with it, but I think that'd be a really interesting thing to go with, and also as an actual race to set it up against other cars. Doing it in 3ds Max, you could do just like the NASCAR drone where you just go around in a circle. That'd be easy enough to do in 3ds Max. Bring it in, throw an environment around it, sticks. You know, it'd be easy then to do the trainer as a background thing for there, where people aren't really going to see it much. But if I just turn my screen on now, so you can see where I am now in the Unity editor. So that there is the maze that I've built. As you can see, it's quite complex. It'll take people a while to figure it out. If people are going to try and memorize it, it's not going to be easy. But then if we go into the actual game as well, here we are. So you got this maze to find your way around. So which way shall I go? This way? Honestly, I don't know the track myself, so it'll be difficult. And obviously collision's not quite right there, because obviously I'm hitting the wall. It's just kind of juddering. But yeah, I mean, you get the point. Dead end there. So this will be I think this will be a fantastic concept to do as a bit of a gimmick. Different time trials, different times for people to try and beat. Right, let's follow this light and see if this will help me out. Nope. So yeah, anyway, that was my idea for that. That's what I've got with that so far. Now, if I delete that track, and I'll throw this in for now. Let me just position it. That's far too big. Right, so obviously I'm not. Oh, should I put it? Be nice if I added terrain. Mesh collider to it, you absolute moron. Right. Drop it a bit lower. Oh, I know what I need to do, you idiot. Hang on, I just messed this up myself now. Take the mesh collider off. I forgot each separate object has its own thing, doesn't it? Can I do it that way? Yes, I can. That makes life a lot quicker. Right, so there we go. So obviously this was only a quick test to know that I can use the add and subtract feature from Unity, but the shadows are fine. It goes in. I can kind of do stupid stuff like that with it. I mean, it works. I can set ramps and all sort of stuff in it. Obviously, as I just proven, I can do tunnels and other stupid stuff, and wow, I can even possibly build loops. So, I mean, I can use all this sort of cool stuff that is in UDK and really put it to working as a fully functioning game within Unity. So, I mean, that's my plan. This is where I'm at so far, guys. So once I've got some car prefabs, I can set up a full menu so you can select your car and you can come into these worlds. So obviously I can then put some texture on that maze that I've done. turn that into a proper thing. I'm not sure what sort of texture I put on it, but I mean, yeah, I like it. It works for me. So yeah, this is as much as I've got so far, guys. But let me know what you think. Let me know if there's a different sort of way I could be doing this in Unity. Any better sort of editors or like level design software that I could be using to help build this, or anything like that. But I will keep you updated if I've got any further with this. Obviously, the progress so far has been slow, but that's because I've just kind of been trying to figure out what works best for me. And now I've kind of figured out what works best for me, I can really crack on with building each different thing. So anyway, that's been it for today, guys. So I will see you next time. So bye for now, guys. Bye.